stop. You didn't find this by chance. You didn't stumble upon this video because of an algorithm, a lucky swipe, or a random moment of boredom. I reached through the noise of your life, through the endless scroll, the constant notifications, the chaos that has been drowning out my voice, and I placed this message directly in front of your eyes at this exact second. You have been running, not towards something, away from something, away from the silence, away from the questions you cannot answer, away from the weight that has been pressing down on your chest, making it hard to breathe, hard to rest, hard to remember who you were before life broke you. You have been telling yourself that if you just keep moving, just keep busy, just keep distracting yourself, then maybe the pain will stay behind you. Maybe the questions will stop chasing you. Maybe the silence will stop haunting you. But the silence has been following you, not to punish you, to save you. Because in the silence, in the moments when the noise finally stops and you're left alone with your thoughts, something has been happening. Something you could not see because you were too busy trying to escape it. I have been working. You thought the silence meant I had forgotten you. You thought the stillness meant I had abandoned you. You thought the lack of answers meant I was not listening. But I'm telling you the truth. The silence was my greatest gift to you. It was a sanctuary, a workshop, a place where I could strip away everything that was not meant to be part of your future. A place where I could rebuild you. Not as you were, but as you are becoming. You feel stuck, stagnant, like you've been standing still while the world moves on without you. Everyone else seems to be advancing, getting the promotions, finding the love, experiencing the breakthroughs, while you're standing in the same place, waiting for something that never seems to come. But you're not stuck. You are being prepared. A seed does not grow while it is being tossed around by the wind. It grows when it is buried in the dark, hidden in the soil, pressed down by the weight of the earth. The darkness is not the enemy of the seed. The darkness is where the roots are formed. You have been in the dark, and you have been growing roots, roots that will hold you steady when the storms come, roots that will anchor you when the winds try to blow you over, roots that will draw water from depths that others cannot reach. My child, the world will tell you to keep running. The world will tell you that rest is weakness, that stillness is failure, that waiting is wasting time. But I am the one who has been closing doors to protect your path. Every closed door was not a rejection. It was a redirection. Every delay was not a denial. It was a development. Every silence was not an absence. It was a deepening. If you are finally ready to stop running, to stop striving, to stop forcing, to stop trying to make things happen in your own strength, and start walking in my purpose, then subscribe now. Let this voice be the daily lighthouse in the storm you are currently navigating. Let these words be the anchor that holds you steady when the waves get high. Let this community be the sanctuary where you remember who you really are, not who the world says you are, but who I created you to be. Subscribe now. Stay. Let the silence become your sanctuary. Now I want to take you back. I want to walk you through the season that felt lost, the months or years when everything seemed to fall apart, when nothing made sense, when you cried out to me and heard only silence. I want to show you what was really happening. The lost money, the job that disappeared, the investment that failed, the savings that were wiped out, the financial collapse that left you scrambling, terrified, wondering how you would survive. You thought I had abandoned you. You thought I was punishing you. You thought I did not care about your needs. But that loss was not a punishment. It was a pruning. I had to remove the dead branches so that new fruit could grow. The money you lost was attached to something that was poisoning you, a job that was stealing your soul, a business that was compromising your integrity, a source that was draining your spirit. I cut off, not to harm you, to heal you. And in the emptiness that followed, I began to rebuild, not just your finances, but your relationship with money itself. I had to teach you that your security is not in your bank account. Your security is in me. The toxic breakup, the person who left, the friend who betrayed you, The partner who walked away without explanation. The relationship that ended in flames, leaving you shattered and confused. You begged me to bring them back. You cried out for restoration. You could not understand why I would let someone you love be taken from you. But I saw what you could not see. I saw the toxicity beneath the surface. I saw the ways they were draining you, using you, manipulating you. I saw the future that would have destroyed you if you had stayed together. That breakup was not a tragedy. It was a surgery. I cut out what was killing you so that you could live. And the grief you felt was not a sign that you should go back. It was the pain of a wound that needed to heal. The unexplained anxiety. The heaviness that would not lift. The sleepless nights. The racing thoughts. The sense that something was wrong, even when everything looked fine on the surface. You thought you were losing your mind. You thought something was broken inside you. You thought the anxiety was a weakness, a flaw, a sign that you were not strong enough. But that anxiety was a signal. It was the enemy pressing down on you, not because you were weak, but because you were dangerous to him, because your breakthrough was near, because the blessing on your life was so great that he had to throw everything he had at you to keep you from walking into it. The anxiety was not a sickness. It was a sign that the battle was intensifying, and that meant the victory was close. The lost sleep. The nights when your body was exhausted but your mind would not stop. The hours spent staring at the ceiling, running through the same worries, the same fears, the same regrets. You thought the sleeplessness was torture. But I was using those quiet hours to speak to you, because it was the only time you were still enough to listen. In the darkness, while the world slept, I was planting seeds in your spirit. I was downloading strategies. I was giving you answers that you could not receive during the noise of the day. Those sleepless nights were not a curse. They were classroom, and you learned things in the dark that you could have learned nowhere else. The isolation, the feeling of being alone, of being misunderstood, of being surrounded by people yet completely unseen. You thought the isolation was rejection, but I was separating you. I was pulling you away from voices that were confusing you, influences that were distracting you, relationships that were pulling you off course. The isolation was not abandonment. It was quarantine. I was protecting you from an infection that would have compromised your destiny. And in the quiet, I was becoming your closest companion, closer than any friend, more present than any partner. The lost dreams, the hopes that died, the plans that failed, the visions that never materialized. You thought the lost dreams were proof that you were not good enough. But I was refining your desires. Some of those dreams were never from me. They were planted by the world, by the enemy, by your own ego. And I had to let them die so that the dreams I planted could grow. The death of a dream is not the end. It is the clearing of the ground for something better. The silence, the prayers that seemed to hit the ceiling, the cries that went unanswered, the feeling that I was far away, indifferent, maybe even imaginary. You thought the silence meant I was not listening, but I was listening more intently than ever. And my silence was not absence, it was action. I was working behind the scenes, moving pieces you could not see, fighting battles you did not even know existed. The silence was not neglect. It was the most attentive care you have ever received. You felt abandoned during those nights, but I was holding your hand through the fire. You thought you were alone, but I never left your side. Every tear, every fear, every moment of doubt, I was there. Now I want you to acknowledge what you could not see before. I want you to declare that you understand, not with your mind, but with your heart, that what you thought was a loss was actually a divine cleansing. Go to the comments. Type these words, "I see your hand in my struggle." Type it now. Let it be your acknowledgement that I was with you, even in the darkness, especially in the darkness. I see your hand in my struggle. Now I want to tell you something that will change how you see your struggle. You are not alone in this hidden season. You are walking a path that every great one has walked before you. Do you remember Joseph? He had a dream, a vision of greatness, of authority, of purpose. And then what happened? He was thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, imprisoned for years, forgotten by everyone who had ever promised to remember him. From the outside, it looked like God had abandoned him. It looked like the dream was dead. It looked like Joseph had been rejected, forgotten, left to rot in obscurity. But I was doing something in that prison that could only be done in the dark. I was shaping Joseph's character. I was teaching him patience. I was building in him the wisdom and humility that he would need to steward the authority that was coming. The prison was not the end of Joseph's story. The prison was the place where the mantle was woven. And when the time was exactly right, not a moment sooner, I opened the door. Not just to freedom, to the throne. Do you remember Moses? He was raised in a palace, but then he fled to the wilderness. 40 years, for decades of herding sheep in obscurity. No miracles, no signs, no wonders, just sand, sheep, and silence. From the outside, it looked like Moses had missed his chance. It looked like his destiny had passed him by. But I was doing something in that wilderness that could only be done in the silence. I was stripping away the pride of the palace. I was teaching Moses to lead without a title. I was preparing him to stand before Pharaoh. The wilderness was not the end of Moses' story. The wilderness was where the mantle was woven. And when the time was exactly right, not a moment sooner, I spoke from a burning bush, and the hidden shepherd became the deliverer of a nation. Do you remember David? He was anointed as king, and then he spent years running for his life, hiding in caves, hunted by a madman. He had the promise, but he did not have the position. He had the calling, but he did not have the crown. From the outside, it looked like God had made a mistake. It looked like David would die in obscurity, the promise unfulfilled. But I was doing something in those caves that could only be done in the dark. I was forging David's warriors. I was deepening his worship. I was preparing him to lead a nation that did not yet know his name. The caves were not the end of David's story. The caves were where the mantle was woven. And when the time was exactly right, not a moment sooner, the cave gave way to the throne. You are in the desert. You are in the prison. You are in the cave. And you have been asking me, how much longer? When will be my turn? Why am I still here while everyone else is advancing? But the desert is where the mantle is woven. The prison is where the character is forged. The cave is where the warriors are trained. Do not despise the hidden season. It is the most important season of your life. Many will leave when the season gets quiet. They only want the crown. They do not want the cross. They only want the throne. They do not want the training. They only want the manifestation. They do not want the preparation. But you are different. You have stayed. You have endured. You have trusted me even when you could not see me, believed in me even when you could not feel me, waited for me even when the silence felt unbearable. If you're one of the few who are committed to the process of becoming who I called you to be, if you're willing to stay in the desert until I say it is time to leave, then click subscribe. Let this be your declaration that you are not a fair weather follower. You are all in. We are building something that the world cannot take away. A character that cannot be shaken. A foundation that cannot be moved. A mantle that will not crack under pressure. Subscribe now. Stay in the desert with me a little longer. The throne is coming, but first, the mantle must be woven. Now I need to warn you about something, because the enemy has not been idle while you have been in the desert. He has been watching you, studying you, learning your weaknesses, and now that you are close to your breakthrough, now that the mantle is almost woven, now that the desert is almost crossed, he is making his final move. You have felt it, haven't you? The numbness, the cynicism, the creeping sense that maybe none of this is real, that maybe you've been fooling yourself, that maybe you should just give up and accept that life will never get better. That numbness is not natural. It is a spiritual counterattack. The enemy cannot stop your breakthrough. I have already decreed it. So he is trying to steal your hope. He cannot close the door I am opening. so he's trying to blind you to the door. He cannot silence my voice, so he's trying to make you deaf to it. He wants you focused on your scars, on your past, on your failures, on every reason you have to doubt, to fear, to give up. He whispers, "Look at how many times you have failed. Look at how many times you have fallen. Look at how many times you have tried and come up short. You are not the one. You are not enough. You are not worthy." And that whisper has been working. You have started to believe it. You have started to doubt yourself. You have started to question whether I really have a plan for your life or whether you have just been chasing a fantasy. Listen to me clearly. The enemy is a liar, and his lies have no power over you unless you believe them. Your scars are not your identity. Your scars are proof that you survived things that were trying to kill you. Your failures are not your future. Your failures are the soil where wisdom grows. Your past is not your prison. Your past is the testimony that will set others free. I'm calling you to reject the spirit of offense and bitterness that has been trying to take root in your heart. You have been offended by people who hurt you, by circumstances that betrayed you, by me because you thought I had abandoned you. That offense has been festering. It has been turning into bitterness. And bitterness is poison, not to the people who hurt you, but to you. It blocks your flow. It hardens your heart. It keeps you stuck in the past, unable to step into the future I am building. The enemy wants you to focus on your scars. He wants you to rehearse your grievances. He wants you to stay offended, stay bitter, stay stuck. But I want you to focus on the future I am building. A future of purpose, of abundance, of joy, of impact. A future so bright that the past will fade like a shadow at noon. Right now, I want you to make a declaration, a decree that severs the enemy's grip on your heart. Go to the comments. Type these words. I refuse to be a victim of my past. Type it now. Let it be your rebellion against the spirit of offense. Let it be your declaration that you are done living in the rearview mirror. Let it be the seal that breaks the enemy's hold on your heart. I refuse to be a victim of my past. Now, something is shifting. Can you feel it? The atmosphere around you is changing. The weight that has been pressing down on your chest is lifting. The fog that has been clouding your mind is clearing. The numbness that has been dulling your spirit is cracking. This is the shift, the transition from preparation to manifestation. The moment when the mantle, the one that has been woven in the dark, forged in the desert, tested in the fire, is finally activated. For so long, you have been fighting against the flow. You have been trying to make things happen in your own strength, on your own timeline, according to your own plans. And you have been exhausted because you were swimming against the current I had set. But now you are stopping. You are surrendering. You are trusting. And when you stop fighting the flow, something miraculous happens. You stop drowning and you start floating. The current that was trying to kill you becomes the current that carries you. The river that was dragging you under becomes the river that takes you home. This is what happens when a soul stops fighting against the flow of God and starts trusting the timing. You will feel it first in your body. The tension in your shoulders will release. The clenching in your jaw will soften. The knot in your stomach will untie. You will breathe deeper. You will sleep better. You will wake up lighter. Then you will feel it in your mind. The racing thoughts will slow. The endless loop of worry will break. The catastrophic thinking, the constant preparation for the next disaster, will quiet. You will find yourself present, grounded here. Then you will see it in your circumstances. The door that has been locked for years will begin to creak open. The phone that has been silent will ring. The resource that has been missing will appear. The relationship that has been broken will begin to heal. Not because you forced it, because you stopped forcing. Not because you made it happen, because you let it happen. Not because you were strong enough, because you finally admitted you were weak enough to need me. The mantle is activated. The desert is ending. The throne is approaching. But you must keep walking, keep trusting, keep surrendering. The shift is here, but you must step into it. The door is open, but you must walk through it. The current is flowing, but you must stop fighting it and let it carry you. You're not the same person who started this journey. The desert has changed you. The fire has purified you. The silence has strengthened you. Now, it is time to step into who you have become. And now, my child, I want to commission you. I want to send you out, not as you were, but as you are becoming. Not as a victim of circumstance, but as a steward of destiny. Not as one who grovels, but as one who walks in authority. The chapter of your limitation is ending. The chapter of your limitation is ending. The chapter of fear is closing. The chapter of doubt is closing. The chapter of scarcity is closing. The chapter of hiding is closing. And a new chapter is beginning. A chapter of purpose. A chapter of abundance. A chapter of impact. A chapter of peace. I'm giving you a new name. Not the name the world gave you. Failure, broken, forgotten, too late. A new name. A name that reflects who you have become in the fire. I call you overcomer. I call you beloved. I call you chosen. I call you steward. I call you mine. You're not the same person who clicked on this video. You have been seen. You have been known. You have been held. You have been changed. Now, I want you to seal this transformation. I want you to make a vow, not to me, but to yourself. A vow that you will not go back to who you were, that you will not return to the fear, the doubt, the scarcity, the hiding. Go to the comments. Type one word, Amen, but do not stop there. Share this message with one person who needs to know they have not been forgotten. Someone who is still in the desert, still in the silence, still wondering if anyone sees them. You're the messenger now. You're the voice that says to someone else what I have said to you. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. The silence is not absence. It is preparation. And your breakthrough is closer than you think. Type Amen. Share this message. Step into your new chapter. The chapter of your limitation is ending. Your breakthrough is not just coming. It is already here. Now go. Live like someone who knows they are loved. Walk like someone who knows they are held. Breathe like someone who knows the battle is already won. I am with you. Always. Amen. I have spoken. Subscribe now to stay connected to this voice. Type Amen in the comments. Share this message with one person who needs to hear it. And step into your new chapter, not as you were, but as you are becoming.